Hello everybody, this is Aaron Dominion. I wanted to give a modding update. It's been forever since I've given one of these. Topics I want to address on this one is the lack of updates I've been doing and the current state of Pneuma Manor, since that's one of the projects I was last working on. I don't want to touch anything else because it's been so long. Now let's get started. So my lack of updates, I've done several moves, two of them as a matter of fact since June, once in mid-June and then the beginning of August. So that really took a lot of energy out of me. At the same time as all this was going on, job I work, it got really busy. So I didn't have a computer at the time during those moves set up. Excuse me. And work was busy, so I didn't have time really to even do a makeshift build at the time. And it's still busy, but we're getting better, getting into winter, which is really odd for us. Anyway. And then, my old machine that you've seen in all these old videos was Windows 7. I've moved over to a Windows 10 box for the moment. That old machine, I'm probably going to try to install Windows 10 on it. It's a 9-year-old computer at this point, so take that as you will. Because of all this stuff, I've been really burned out in general for a variety of reasons. Some that I've stated here, other things that don't really want to get into on video. I took a lot of time just to rest and recuperate. That's something that's very important. Just to take care of yourself in the process of doing all of this. I've done that, and I'm ready to get back into it. And I took forever getting this video out because whenever I did my transition, I had some scripts I needed to correct on Pneuma Manor. But yeah, I'm back in it. So Pneuma Manor, current state of it. So my priority items, at least that I've written down here, it's subject to change, it's subject to change the ordering of all of these. So, the thing I was working on last, when we had our old video, was Skyrim's Hearthfire adoption system. I was trying to work on integrating into the existing framework. What I have to do at the moment is reverse engineer it. That way, Pneuma Manor's kind of supported by it, but it doesn't affect the base system. I'll go more into that in the future, probably, as like a tutorial video, once I figure out all the kinks and everything. I have to rework the flow of the boss battle. It's, right now I just have it in a state where you can get through all the stages to complete that main quest. But we need to actually have it something that's fun, challenging, and so on. There's a Dwemer Sphere companion that I keep talking about. I have the actual companion in the game, it's just I need to work on dialogue, what I want to do really with that character. I need to review the added books. I think I'm sitting at like 150 custom written books or edited books, depending on if it was just a variation of an existing book in the game to support the alternate universe idea. There's very few of those, though. It's mostly custom writing that's been done. And then I need to start work on the soul scrying recordings. I've done a little bit of writing so far for that. A lot of it's going to be finding voice actors. A lot of them are going to be finding scenarios that aren't necessarily captured currently, and the best way to integrate that into the modding process. Alright, so the Hearthfire adoption integration, my current status of it, the spouse is able to move, the children, which is the key part of this. They sort of can move, but it's really broken at the moment. As I mentioned earlier, I'm reverse engineering Bethesda's framework, and I have to work towards making it compatible with their framework. Caveat here, most likely it will not be compatible if somebody's made their own custom adoption framework. This was a decision I had to make in order to support it the way I wanted to. Take it as you will, and I probably won't change that because the whole purpose of this is to get it ready for Special Edition. Trying to slug through the rest of this. Legacy version on original Skyrim, I won't be doing any custom modifications on it. I might consider it on Special Edition, but I have other projects I pretty much want to do after this. It's been 6-7 years now. I'm pretty much close to wanting to be done with it, even though it's been good so far. Alright, so the boss battle rework. I just have some information here about when it is. Something else inside of the original Pneuma Manor, you fight Edwin Necron as a Mistman. I want to sort of fine-tune that. I want to add a voice to Edwin in that current state. Oh, I will be voicing that voice. One of the 3 voices that will be voiced. All 4, actually, that will be voiced by me in the mod. So, I want to just make that voiced. I want to have some abilities, so it's not just a real simple thing to resolve. And then it's Soulcairn 1, I have a multi-stage boss battle. You'll see the final segments of that later in this video. Not necessarily the boss battle part. I don't really want to record that while it's in its current state for a preview, because it's not representative of what it will be. But that's going to be real important to do a rework on. And it shouldn't take too much time, because a lot of the fundamentals are in there, and it's not too difficult to add just a few things here and there to spice up the battles and rework them. Okay, so because it's been so long, I've been working on this project for 1. 2, it's been so long since I've done an update. I want to share what I've been working on in terms of some clips from inside the game. I will be commentating on some parts of it as well, and just some screenshot captures I've done outside of game here. Alright, so outside of Markarth, there will be a new mine, and this is what I wanted to use to support the adoption system. That's something that's pretty key, to have a place where they can actually enter into this new area for Pneuma Manor where the family can reside. 2, story-wise, be able to tether the Skyrim world into the Soulcairn, and what Edwin and Vienne talk about this alternate Skyrim, because they're not from our current Skyrim. Wanted to have something story-wise to try to merge those together, and it will also serve as just an easy way to get from the Soulcairn back to Skyrim if you don't want to use the portal. Observed ratiofication mine is what I decided to call it. And it cannot be entered until the main story content on Pneuma Manor is finished. So, if you acquire Pneuma Manor, and you start the quest lines, and you haven't unlocked the portal system or unlocked this mine, I highly recommend you go in for the long haul. That way, you can unlock this part, and you basically have most everything unlocked at that point. There will be some stuff you probably haven't done, but going to the point of unlocking the mine is pretty key. Alright, so here's a few interior screenshots that I have from the mine. It's very bare bones on what's in the mine. I don't want it to be a focal point. I just want to show a little bit of, hey, Edwin was using this to spy on the Skyrim world. And eventually, right now, it doesn't have any sort of enemies to fight. I was planning to have some sort of bandits or something like that for the player to fight. Okay, so I mentioned a moment ago, portal system. So I introduced a portal system. It's to link old and new areas to unlock after the Pneuma Manor quests from the current release. That way you can get to the new area. Right now I have a broken mechanism to get to the new area. It's pretty funny. It's actually a set of bricks. You just use the bricks and you're transported immediately. Portal I'm using because it can support whatever companions you have to get to this new area without leaving them stranded. So the locations that I have attached to this, I have Pneuma Manor's roof, which I redid a little bit in order to support this and just improve its aesthetics a little. The observed ratio is nation mine. I misspelled it on this slide, I apologize. Just so it can tether it there. Solcairn 1, it's the new area, the main entrance of it. If you've seen the sneak peek I did with the Donner Gweird, it's that area when he says, and here we are, Pneuma Manor, Solcairn 1. That's the main entrance. The side area is basically the corridor where the Donner Gweird dialogue begins. I wanted to have that there so you can still teleport to that section. It's a mutable spot in the event that you start using the family features. Have the mine linked up to the main entrance. You can still portal to other places using the other portal. And then I have on here, because of how I have currently Necromancer Lair. You've probably seen some screenshots of it if you followed my media. But it basically tethers the other area that's in this mod. So Necromancer Lair, to expand on that, here's some screenshots from it. This is pretty much the final state of it. Sans, so the soul scrying stuff, there will be some introduced external stuff inside of like the library section of this, and I need to find a different way to enter into this library area because the current mechanism kind of blocks some of the books that you can read. This is also going to serve as like a home for your character if you want it to. I know there's some people that like necromancery type things out there, and this was an option I decided to integrate into this. It's not my preferred option. None of the adoption stuff will allow you to have them live in this area. They will be in the main area if you choose to. Alright, so added books. I said around 150 earlier. So you have so many like lore books on the screen. You see that there's like some necromancer type stuff for Edwin's research that he's done. You have the Undead Encyclopedia series that I decided would make sense. It does it in terms of the alternate universe as well for a lot of these books. Some of the books will be solely quest driving items. There's some puzzles that require books, etc. Okay, I just wanted to go over a few of these books because there's such a large span. So highlights of Clara Spirit, is based off of Dream Dove's Clara Goldspirit follower. I did some work on that. I've asked for permission beforehand to make an alternate universe version of that character in the writing. So it's a 7-volume series spanning different stages of life for the Clara Goldspirit character. I decided to have screenshots from Volume 4 and Volume 7. So Volume 4, she's young adult-ish at this point, in a very, as you can see, there's some tensions going on in their 4th era. Skyrim, Falmer and Dwemer still exist in their universe, but there's officials disappearing or ending up dead. It's to do a build-up for one of the darker times that I illustrate in the alternate universe writings, that for the 4th era specifically. And then Volume 7 is another screenshot I have here. Those events I'm alluding to, the dark events, the epilogue of the series is post those events being ended, and the community is gathering around to make a big achievement for Tamriel as a whole, and Nirn as a whole. Okay, so example number 2 here. I am going to go into some topics. My viewpoints are going to be reflected by the writing a little bit, and I wanted to give better insight into what the viewpoints of that universe are. So one of the main authors I have is a powerful necromancer that's been alive since 1st era, and their 6th era still alive. She has a lot of ability. Sorotia the Adept is that necromancer's name, and many of the books will be from 4th era. In terms of perspective, there will be some that aren't, and the way I've defined in that universe about necromancy, it's not evil by itself, and in order to support that, there's been a lot of regulations and ethics devoted to necromancy in that alternate universe, just to make sure that it's used in a way that doesn't go against society values. This particular book is Women's Necromantic Accomplishments, and it highlights notable women's contributions to the necromancy field. They can be necromancers, or they can just be mages who have done something for the necromancer field. I mean, Jolgra Hemsrith is one of the orc necromancers I've added to the mix. Sorotia doesn't talk about herself in here too much. It's mainly other characters. Clara Goldspirit is mentioned in here because of what's in the highlights of Clara Goldspirit, Volume 7. There's not too many characters in here. I just wanted to have some to just highlight it and that they're strong women characters that have popped up in their history. Like Hemsworth, you'll see some books written by her, and I don't know about the other characters in their offhand going on here because there are so many books that are in mod now. Okay, and lastly, I wanted to go through just a few pieces of the mod in the actual game itself. So in order to do that, I will be switching off to that. If you don't want to see any of the spoilers that are associated with that, you can go ahead and cancel watching the rest of this video. I will be uploading it separately as well, just so other people can see it, and I will be taking out pieces of it to upload another part of it as well separately. Alright, I will see everybody. Hey everybody, we are back in the game right now, so for some of those sneak peeks. If this is a separate video, you're seeing a Pneuma Manor separate sneak peek, excuse me, right now for some of the areas in here. So whatever stage of the quest line we're in, we just found this journal entry. All the lights just went off, and we'll play through a little bit here. So as the text showed, that was Vigilant, that's here in the mod. Vigilant is, let me shine some light on this situation here. Okay. So the lights are off, Vigilant appears to yell at you, challenging you essentially. And you have to fight your way through the situation you've been forced into. So Vigilant's a character that I'm voicing in the mod. One of the four I was mentioning. Looks a lot different when all the lights are off. So, I'm voicing the Doneric for this video just because I don't have those voice lines for this quest line is at right now. Okay. Vigilant disappears, the Doneric comes walking up.
It seems you are helping me to get rid of these pests. I will join you, and Jiggelag will lead us back to normal.
Okay. So, the one area, if you've seen some of the other videos that don't really get into, the generator shaft. So, to restore the lights, you will be going through a puzzle set here. And I'm going to only show a little bit of, like, some of the parts here. You'll notice in the video splicing, probably, that the puzzle elements will be hidden from this video.
If I can help in any way, let me know.
I just wanted to show it because enemies will be appearing like this throughout. Alright, I will see everybody in another portion of the video. Alright, here we are again. We just finished restoring the generator. Vigilance cackling. So just wanted to show a little bit of what it all looks like. Currently it's not rotating as it should on the generator. But this is generally how it will look and sound in this section once you have repaired the generator. Because of the stage we're at, we're having to fight some more here. Since we are in that quest line. Now we're trying to exit here after restoring. I will show you Vermina's nightmares, you fiend. Come, let's kill this abomination. Okay, so we don't have anywhere to go. What's this? Let's see if Donoric will decide to go on it. Yes, he did. Sometimes he has to walk onto it, but we have an elevator shaft. Okay. I had a mishap there, sorry. So, we have an elevator shaft that we're going down right now. And it takes a while. I didn't want it to be a quick elevator shaft. And it is nav meshed, so all of your followers will be able to use it too, if you decide in the future to go back into this area. And then, notice it's like a parts room of some sort. I didn't really want to show that mechanic in the video. I just wanted to show in a little bit of detail here. I'm going to be panning away again because there's another puzzle we're about to do that I don't want to actually show at this time. I will return after. Okay, so here we are back again. So, there's a never-ending wave that will show up there.
Looks like I need to hold them off. Go on and let Garden Ingenuity defend your path back.
Okay, and Donoric is going to head on out. Okay, so the barrier's down. Let's go ahead and deal with this bowman right here. Okay. So now we are going towards the necromancer layer. And notice it is, in fact, I'm probably going to get healing just because it is going to be a little painful this section. I wanted to make this area a challenge for the players as they're going through. They are scaled to your level, so bear that in mind. Did I get them? Yeah, I got them all. Okay. So here we have another. I was originally going to have a lot more attack at once, but I didn't want to overwhelm the player. Okay. And notice. Yep, we have another about the same size type wave. Okay, so we finally got through that wave. The behavior here will be a little bit weird because we have a few final enemies that will show up. Definitely going to have Vigilant do something different here. It looks similar to an in-game character. I used an existing asset, just a different effect for final Vigilant work. So I give a little bit of a dialogue opportunity between you and boss, but I'm going to skip over that so we can see right before the boss fight would occur. Okay, so the boss battle will start, and I'm going to pan away to the ending segment now. Alright, we are back now. So, for anybody joining, this is the epilogue sequence that I have. If this is a brand new video, hello, Aaron Dominion, and here's a sneak peek of the epilogue.
The master here uncovered.
Did honor require? You thought this major skill lost your arrow's palace. How on earth did you wind up here and alive near the sixth arrow's conclusion?
There was this portal, and
With this strategy, you are extremely lucky. Nine divine suffered grave losses in our universe along with numerous innocent lives. Earned standard deities were appalled upon discovering numerous women and children. Murdered for the fact of believing in secular views or views derived from other worlds. Learned space vibration, knows retribution, works vigil in order to solidify York's place in the cosmos. Forgive the nonsensical dogmas, as your world is still in feudal times without the once enlightened dreamer. Your world will reach this level of competence.
what are they lacking?
The use of social laws and religion for the vision instead of harmony, grounded in equity. The repugnant idea of races being weaker or stronger rather than embracing strength in diverse society. Lastly, archaic laws revolving over those qualified to lead over their lands based on gender. Everyone will eventually ignore the local minority and accept our guardians are just the same as any normal parent. Parents of individual will outweigh one's upbringing or their biological gender. It took unearned years of conflict, including all laws and supremacy rules, in order to reach this clarity. Now you will require something of relevance. What of Pneuma Manor so dear one? The Mages Guild has already established multiple other outposts after Edward's seemingly uncharacteristic violence toward a visitor. The only logical answer is to cut off our universe from this location and allow you to maintain ownership. Over time, we might reevaluate this position. You have done the right thing here. I grieve for the innocent victims in our realm. I also mourn the tragedy, vigilant, unlocked, and enforced in this realm. Strive towards making this abomination merely a relic of today. We must depart and report back to the council. Afterwards, I will probably visit a mage in your universe. I need to jumpstart a march away from ignorance.
So that's the end of the main quest line after the dialogue there. So the Dremora, that's being voiced by me. The fill-in voice for Doneric is also being voiced by me. I apologize for the poor quality of that. I just wanted to show where the epilogue stood. Vigilant, pretty fleshed out. You got to see how he ended there, and got to see what happened there with the Dremora. I'm going to be using that Dremora in future videos. I kind of alluded to something that currently I'm planning for the Skyrim Social Conscience series for the part 2 on it. I don't know if I'm going to stay with that plan for the part 2. We'll see. Because I do have quite a few other projects currently lined up, finishing this one off being the major undertaking. I will see everybody on the next video. Thank you for tuning in.